This is the number one reason why we have the highest divorce rate ever. I believe it's more than 50% right now, and that is values. My name is Dez Peña, aka the Trillionaire Woman, and I'm going to be speaking to you today about the importance of having aligned values within a relationship. Now, values can mean many things. I think one of the most important things to define is what is disrespect, right? I was in a previous relationship where I considered a certain action to be disrespectful, while my partner considered it not to be disrespectful. I personally do not hold or keep any relationships with a prior ex-partner, anyone that I was intimate with, because I do not have time for that past energy to belong in my future. It just doesn't belong. There's no room for it. And because there's no room for it, I expect my partner to do the same. They should not have an ex in their life that they're still communicating with, that they still care. You can love someone and love them from afar. Obviously, all your previous partners, you were with them because you love them. Now, is that something that your current or future partner needs to hear? Probably not. Are they going to want to hear it? Is it going to make them feel better? Probably not. So there are times and places to speak about things. You can speak about things. For example, you want to share a story and your ex happened to be in that story. You can share that story by simply saying there was a friend in the story. You don't need to say it was your ex. Nobody needs to hear that. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody cares, to be honest. You can get your point across by sharing the story without specifying that your ex was in the story. And these are certain levels that some people will find appropriate or inappropriate. And when you can define what those things are earlier on in the relationship, then the better it is to move forward in that relationship. For example, values can be love, values can be happiness, values can involve freedom, values can be joy, values can be family time, quality time. So a couple of things that I define early on in any given relationship is definitely love language. I think a lot of times the guys will bring that up first, so it's always a topic to be had. And then I figure out what their values are, sometimes not always through direct questions, but through conversation. So for example, my top 3 values, and I'm not including like my love languages, my top 3 values are love, freedom, and then I take happiness to a whole new level. I'm talking magical. I'm talking beyond joy. I'm talking elation, because that is the type of experience I want to create in my life and in the life of my future family. So those are the values that I embody. Now, when it comes to love languages, I want you guys to type below what is your primary love language in order. So those love languages are physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and then clearly I'm missing the last one, so you guys can type it down below and write in order what is the way that you give love and rank it, and then what is the way that you receive love. So the same way you give may not be the same way that you receive, or sometimes they may align. And those are things also to specify within a conversation with your partner, so that way they understand how they can love you best. Now, these are brand new people, right, that are coming into your life. They haven't known you forever like your family has, so they need to learn about you, and they're only going to learn about you if you're communicating. And if you're not communicating, then there isn't a way for you guys to build a closer bond. So communication is definitely something that's very important in any given relationship, because without communication, there's no way to resolve conflict. There's no way to get to know each other better. There's just no way. It's the end of it. Without communication, there is no continuation. Quote me at Trillionaire Woman. Without communication, there's no continuation. And that's how you can easily knock someone off your roster. because you are a queen and you deserve to have someone treat you as such. And if they're not treating you as such, then that is when you have the self-respect to remove yourself from the situation. A lot of times men will do their best to advance to a physical place as fast as possible, because that is just within their nature. They are biologically driven to want to mass produce. And as a result of that, they constantly try and push the physical barriers. Now, you remain in control when you are able to keep that under control. Their physical, not their physical attraction. It's amazing if a guy's physically attracted to you. They should be if they want to be involved with you in a relationship. Now, in order for that to continue, because you want progression, but that progression needs to be given in like cookie crumbs. So you drop little cookie crumbs along the way until you feel like you're ready to proceed to that next level. And the only way that you're going to feel that is not through physical attraction. It's going to be through a relationship that has been built up over time, because you are a prize. And not a prize to be won, but you are a prize to be adored. You are someone to be admired. And if that dynamic is not there within the relationship, then that person clearly doesn't love you as much as you love them. Or that person clearly just isn't the one for you. I know you've probably seen a lot of videos of you want the black cat energy versus the golden retriever energy. I definitely think that there's times to be golden retriever energy, but not in relation to the man, but in relation to through the activities and experiences that you guys get to have with each other. And then you show that golden retriever energy with little things that you like, because then that's how they know what you like. You don't want to be super boring, like, and in that black cat siren feminine energy where you're just not amused with anything in life. It makes you boring, actually. And that is why so many men don't feel like they can truly be comfortable sometimes around females, because they don't know how to tell jokes or let loose or just chill. They constantly feel like they need to keep up this persona in order to either be A, liked by whoever this other person is, or B, just trying to fit the femme fatale box. And you don't need to be put in a box. You don't belong in a box. As a queen, you authentically would need to tap into being the best version of yourself, and that is the only thing that you ever need to work on doing. Being the best version of yourself in multiple areas of your life. Financially, through happiness, through health, all of it. Through mindset. Because, again, that man is going to be a reflection of you as well. And why would anyone want to be with someone who they wouldn't be proud of being that reflection of? Going back to values, you want to make sure that both of your values align. Do they always need to match? No. But does there need to be a base set of principles that, need to be abided by? Absolutely. And those should align. So for example, if I've always dreamed of being married and having a family, if I'm getting with a guy who's never wanted a family and never dreamed of getting married, that's likely not going to work. So you think about these things strategically, because they're thinking about things primarily with their other brain, but also, if they're smart, in a strategic manner. And that is the same way as females we need to be as well. We cannot constantly be driven by this emotional energy. And yes, I do believe in such things as soulmates and twin flames, but that doesn't mean that whoever that person is necessarily the best suited for you. And so that is where logic comes into place. You have to have both the logical and the emotional aspect. a lot of times as a female, because it's just within our nature how we are biologically built, we are built to give all of ourselves to not just the man, but also to our family. It goes very quickly from being your own independent person to, oh, well, what are the kids doing? Did they eat? Are they ready for school? Did they shower? Did my husband eat? Is he okay? Is she okay? Oh my God, somebody fell down. We're constantly multitasking, which is, again, why females have a better multitasking mind than men, because we were built to care for multiple people at once, multiple children at once, while still making sure that the stuff on the oven doesn't burn. And this is the difference between a male and a female, where a guy typically will have a one-tracked set mind. And does it mean that they cannot be balanced in multiple ways? No, not at all. Because if their frame of thinking is to be the best version of themselves in all aspects, in all areas of their life, then they're constantly, or most of the time, going to show up as the best boyfriend, best husband. They're going to show up as the best father. They're going to show up as the best boss in their business or worker in the business that they work for. They're going to show up at the gym and be disciplined. Because a man who is not disciplined, if they are constantly being driven by their desires or their physical desires, that is someone you're going to want to stay far away from, because they do not have the discipline to be able to accomplish anything to its completion. So for example, a lot of times, you would say don't judge a book by its cover, but many people do, especially at first impressions. At first impressions, all we have is the cover to judge. And then from there, we develop a communication and a relationship over time to see if values are aligned. And when someone is inconsistent with their diet, for example, with their workout regime, with the amount of hours that they work, do you think they're going to be consistent to you? If they can't even be consistent with their own goals that they have in their life, do you think they're ever going to be consistent with you? Most likely not. So then assess if this person is the best person for you. Because you're not just making this decision for yourself. It's not just determining your quality of life. You're determining the quality of life of your children and all of the future generations that come after, because they are co-creating this life with you. And as a co-creator of this life, do you want someone who is undisciplined? Do you want someone who is inconsistent? Or do you want someone who is constantly seeking to be the best version of themselves and show up as that person every day? And if they happen to make those mistakes, for example, not being consistent with their diet or not being consistent with their workout regime, are they willing to own up to those mistakes and make adjustments? It's not just about mentioning, oh, I messed up. It's, oh, I messed up and this is how I'm going to fix it. Because as a man, they're supposed to be the solution-oriented people. You want to go to them with your problems. This is another way that you can create an emotional connection or bond with them. Men want to be leaned on. They want to know that they can help in the ways that they're able to. So for example, yeah, the jar may be easy to open, but are you going to put in that extra effort to open the jar, or are you going to ask him because he's right next to you? You ask him, and then you give him gratitude after he helps you. And this is a really important key. It's not just the more someone does for you, the more they like you. Yes, that's true. But the more someone does for you and the more you reciprocate that with positive energy and being thankful and grateful that they were able to help you, like, oh my God, if you weren't here, I don't even know how I would have gotten this open. That's an immense sense of gratitude. And then as a result of that, they feel good. Because it's not only through words of affirmation, let's say that's not even their love language, it's still something that they are going to be conditioned to want to help you more. And that is a way where you can create a stronger dynamic. You have more reasons to reach out to this person than not. Let's say you guys are not in a close vicinity or this is a long distance relationship, this can be as simple as, oh, I need help with something on my computer. I don't know how to fix it. It's not working. What should I do? And giving them the opportunity to be the problem solver in your life. Now, don't do this with people who don't align with your values, because as a result, you would just be wasting your time and wasting their time. And that is something I consider completely disrespectful. My time is extremely valuable. Do not waste it. If someone does not have a plan or a commitment of a plan in mind to proceed, let's say in a relationship dynamic with me, then I do not need you there. Like, I'm perfectly fine. If you have a plan to be a friend, perfect. Let's plan to be friends. If you have a plan to take things to the next level and bring it to a relationship dynamic, now you definitely need a plan in place, because even if we've gone on 1 or 2 dates, there's not going to be a, oh yes, because I've went on a couple dates with you, now I'm willing to commit into a relationship. Yes, I'm passing, they may be passing all of these tests, but if they think it's going to be just as easy as asking me, especially if at any point they were being inconsistent, oh honey, it's going to be way harder for you, because I know that there's a man out there, a king out there, who will provide that sense of security. Because another thing that's important, usually both in a male and female dynamic, and in values in general, is security, having a sense of security. Now, if someone doesn't have a sense of security, security can mean financial security. Security can mean having a person there that you always can rely on. Now, your significant other is not going to be everything to you. They're not always going to check off all the boxes, but they can fulfill what you need them to fulfill. So if I think I'm perfect and I can step up to the plate and show that to my partner and bring that same energy to my partner, do I also expect my partner to be perfect or damn near perfect? Yes, I do. Because if I am that way, I know that there's someone out there who will match that energy. And if that person cannot match that energy, honey, yo no quiero. That means I don't want it. And the reason why you wouldn't want someone who doesn't align with your values, align with your principles, or align with the future vision for your life is, one, primarily, it'll create resentment. If someone does not have a future life planned out for themselves that match yours, like if one person wants to go and live in the woods in the middle of Thailand and you want to live in Malibu on a beach house, those don't align. And if those don't align, there's likely resentment, because each individual, because we're individuals first, would want what we want. You know, it was designed within us, within our DNA. It was planted as a vision to us by God of what we deserve to have in the future and what we should have. And if those two people do not have an aligned vision for their end goal, then they're likely not the right person. And you don't have to be discouraged if the people in your life that you have right now are not aligned with your current values, principles, or goals, but rather become the best version of yourself, and you will be guided to the right places, peoples, and things that will put you in the position to meet that right person. Without further ado, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the Thrive Tribe and like this video if you liked it. Write down below, what is one non-negotiable for you in a relationship?